nothing but faith. There's things far too great that I want to accomplish. I'm hoping 25 hours a day, but something good works out, and I'm just like, dang. Think everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm like, dang. Think you might just know the way. I'm like, dang.
Welcome to Dang.
Dang. I'm Todd Bridges.
And I'm Bettijo.
Today we're going to talk about what makes you feel like it's the best you.
The best version of
Best
yourself.
version of yourself. Well, like for me, I think if I eat too much, the food going in tastes really good. I feel like that's the best me, but then when I start getting fat from it, I don't feel that way anymore. Then I realize that I've messed up and that's not the best me.
You know, I think that's a good example. I feel like when I'm eating healthy and I'm sticking to kind of the healthy food habits I want for myself, I do feel the best.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, for me, it's when I'm losing weight and I feel like and I'm getting exercise, then I feel like I'm doing a little bit of the best me. But I think it takes more than that. I think even when I'm doing a lot of, for me, I think it's when I'm doing a lot of service, it makes me feel like I'm becoming the best me.
Yeah. Well, and kind of about the food thing, you know what is an interesting observation I had recently, because we've been at a lot of birthday parties and things like that. What is it that so many social gatherings and things are focused on food? Like everything, it's we're eating this treat or we're having this, like I'm trying not to eat sugar right now. And it's like everywhere we go, it's like here's like a big cookie or here's a nice piece of cake. It's so hard to resist.
I think that's typical for
yeah, it is
party,
typical.
to have
Our
cake or
social
something like
gatherings
that,
are
yeah.
centered around food. So
Because they want to make people
hard.
feel good.
Yeah.
And you eat terrible food, even though it tastes good, it's bad for you, but it makes you feel good
It sure
while
does.
you're eating it. The problem is that it makes you feel bad when you leave knowing that I shouldn't have ate that chocolate cake with, like last night I ate that thing you made. Shouldn't have ate that at 8 o'clock. I usually don't eat after 7, and I ate that at like 9 o'clock. That did not make it the best of me. It didn't feel good. I mean, it felt good going in. Felt terrible when I really thought about what I just ate.
That thing, did you put the Oreo whipped
Of
cream
course,
on it?
I put the Oreo Whipped Cream on
Oh,
it. Then
it
I
was
put
so
some
good.
chocolate syrup on it. You know, I really indulged a little too much.
Yeah, our
And
daughter's birthday,
yeah.
I made a Pizookie thing, and then I made this Oreo whipped cream. It was really easy. I'll have to put the recipe on the show notes. But it is good.
Yeah, it's
It
like
is-
the stuff I took this morning
tasted it,
to help
but
me diet. I feel better.
It's your morning
yes.
after
I
to
feel like
erase
it's
the oops.
making me feel the best me because I have to lose the weight, and I know that once, when you get to that certain size that you don't like, you want to feel the best you. So
Yeah, and I think that it's good to think about being the best version of yourself, not like a future self, right? Like it's not like this is the dream for someday I want to be like this. It's like, no, I think what you're meaning is what do I do on the daily to like feel good
Yeah.
about what does my everyday best self look like?
yeah, I think for me it's when I get up in the morning, when I take care of the dogs, and then I don't cram a bunch of food in my mouth. I have my morning coffee. And I get up, and then if I stream, I feel good about myself.
The service one you mentioned was a good
Yeah.
one. Because
Yeah,
I
it's-
do think
it's-
it's helpful to get outside of your own
Yeah.
like environment. Sometimes we get so caught up in the problems that we're feeling, or facing, the challenges that we're dealing with, and it's really easy to get like so self-absorbed in those kinds of things. And when you are serving and helping other people, it kind of gives you another reference point of like, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to be grateful for the challenges I have because at least I don't have those challenges.
Well, that's the thing. You have to always look at the outside. People have a habit of only looking at what their problems are and not looking at the bigger picture of everyone else has problems also. It's like, well, if I just had enough money, well, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. If you think those people who have all that money don't have problems, you're crazy. They do have problems.
Right.
Like everybody else does. It's just a matter of how you feel. You can have tons of money and not feel good about yourself and end up killing yourself. People do that all the time.
Yeah, no, it's true. What do you think are those little things that you do that actually help you feel like your best self? You talked about the eating.
Well, it's the eating. It's when I work, when I get out and I work and I'm making money for myself. When I think most men, and I can't speak on all men, but I would say that men generally, when they're providing, when they're doing to provide for their family,
being productive
and providing for their family, they feel they're at their best themselves.
I could see that. You know what? I also think that you are at your best self. Right after you game, you are in the best mood. That's why I love that you game. Like, I know some wives.
Because I'm gaming with my friends. That's probably why.
So what is it about that? Like, there's something.
Because your friends are non-judgmental. Your friends are just your friends. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to say crazy stuff to you. They're not going to be mad at you or be mean to you. They just your friends, and you can have fun with them and say whatever you want to say. No one takes it seriously. Everybody laughs. We giggle at stuff and we laugh about subjects, and sometimes we can't stop laughing. Especially when one of us does something stupid. So I think that it's the fact that you're not held to this high standard as your family will hold you to. It's probably what it is.
Okay, so it's the friend aspect. I thought it was something to do with the games themselves. You don't think if you were gaming by yourself, it'd still make you feel good?
No. Gaming with friends is different. You're gaming with people who, like I said, who are non-judgmental, who's not gonna. You don't have to worry about them getting mad at you. You can say whatever you want to say.
So you're saying in your family you don't feel like that?
Well, no, you can feel like that in your family also. But I'm saying, but when you game,
but you're saying you don't.
Well, me personally, sometimes I don't. When you have a family, you can always get judged. You're getting judged by your family. It happens all the time. That's just what life is, I think.
I don't look at it like that.
You don't? No. You don't feel like you get judged by your family sometimes?
I feel like I don't like. That's not what I'm focused. Like for me, it's like my family is my safe space. My family is who I go through with my problems, and I want their feedback, and they're the people I feel like I can be the most open with. I'm not afraid of what they think of me because I know they love me.
That's because they're your kids.
No, I'm talking about my siblings.
Well, yeah, I know my siblings love me. I know that.
Yeah.
And I know that I don't have to be any different around them. I can be who I am, and I know they're going to love me no matter what.
So you're talking about a dynamic that comes with like a blended family then?
Yeah. It's different. You're going to feel like you're being judged, or, if you do something wrong, they're going to take that and they're going to hold that against you. That's just how it is.
So you feel like you have to be walking on eggshells.
Well, not walking on eggshells. You just got to make sure that whatever you do is, because you can make a tragic mistake with your relatives that are your family and come back from that.
Yeah.
You can't make a tragic mistake with a blended family and come back from that, because everyone will hold you to that. They're going to hold you to that. Your family's going to be like, okay, that's my brother, no matter what. I know he made a mistake. He doesn't do that all the time. But if your blended family sees you make those kind of mistakes, they're going to hold that against you. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I think you touch on something really interesting here, because when you're talking about blending families, you're dealing with a group of people that have all been really hurt, right?
Of course,
because they're coming through something really painful, and we're trying to rebuild and make something new out of it, and everybody is probably just a little bit more raw and a little bit more like everybody's coming from a place where they've been hurt. So
but I think the two that will benefit the most always are the youngest. They benefit the most because they're going to see that person from then on. I'll explain to you why. The older kids already have their personality and everything in their spectrum. They already know what they see. So they're going to be...
So you think it's easier to blend families when the kids are younger?
Because when they're younger, they see that person,
I wasn't sure what you were
and even
meaning.
though they don't see that person as the father, but they still see that person as a father figure, and then they tend to just... They're going to be around them longer, so they'll get to know that person.
I think I can follow that logic. I wonder if that's really true, though. Like, I would be curious.
Well, I know a lot. There's a lot of people that I know that came into people's families' lives when the kids were like 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. So all they knew was that dad. They didn't really know their other dad.
Well, if they're going back and forth between the households, they would still know.
Yeah, but regardless, they still know that person as a young, so it's different. I just think it's different. It's different.
I think I could see that.
Yeah.
What do you think totally throws you off your game if you're trying to be your best self? What are some of the things? I know for me, it's being rushed. I can't, if I'm running out of time or if I'm running late, that is a quick switch to get me into a zone where I'm crazy.
That's why I like to do things, get places.
Yeah,
beforehand.
you like to plan ahead.
Okay, it's like when they took me to the airport the other day when I was out of town. They took me to the airport, and I felt late.
You were there 2 hours early.
No, I wasn't.
You were.
I was there an hour early. Trust me.
No, your flight didn't take off till 1:40.
Not with you. When you took me, I'm talking about
when they
took
like,
me.
I got you there on time.
When they took
I know.
me, I felt rushed. So I felt like I couldn't, and the line was long, and I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, oh my gosh. Even though I got through, I don't like feeling that way.
That's straight. Yeah, I hate that feeling.
Yeah, and it's the worst feeling. So it got me there 2 hours. Then I could have gotten in line. Say, that was a long line. Who cares? You know, I'm gonna make my plane. But I felt like, okay, I'm gonna miss my plane. You know what I mean? And the last thing you want to do is miss your plane when you're out of town because it's really expensive to try to get another plane. Then I would have to call them and argue to get another plane. But so for me, that's why I like to get to the airport 2 hours ahead of time so that I could just walk my way through, not have to, the old. I don't know if you ever seen that old commercial where OJ used to run through. He used to run through the airport in a commercial.
Oh, really?
I think it was a Hertz commercial. He used to run through the airport.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
OJ Simpson?
Yeah.
How funny. Yeah, that is a big trigger for me for sure, being late or running late. Your mom was really good at training you to be early.
My mom always said that if you're 30 minutes early, you're 30 minutes late.
She wanted you to be there an hour early?
Hour to hour and a half as well. And sometimes I used to, if you ask like Jim Michaels, who we're working with, if you ask him what time I used to get to work, I used to get to work 2 hours sometimes because you didn't know how traffic was going to be in LA. And the other good part about it is you had a dressing room. So you can get to work early, go in your dressing room, and you can relax. You don't have to feel rushed, and you can get dressed when you felt like it. You don't feel like I got to get there and fast, and move, And so it always felt better that way. And then it also made them know that, okay, we don't have to worry about him. He's going to always be here when he needs to be here on time.
When you were going as a kid, your mom would get you to the set that early too?
Yeah.
Did you have like toys and stuff in your dressing room?
Yeah.
So
me and Gary Coleman used to like make our own toys, or we had toys we used to play with, and we used to build like these little box things that we used to have box tunnels everywhere, all through our rooms, to each other's rooms.
Oh, like you'd make like little forts?
Yeah, we had forts and we had boxes all taped together.
What were the boxes from? Just stuff that was getting shipped?
Yeah, just stuff boxes. We used to tell them we wanted boxes. They used to bring us boxes and we'd duct tape them together, and we'd have these little tunnels that we'd crawl through, and we'd be inside of our little fort playing, having a good time. So.
Would you guys like cut windows and stuff?
Oh yeah, we had everything.
They'd let you have like a box cutter knife?
No, they used to cut it for us.
They would have cut them for you.
But then we did play pranks on them one time where we went to a magic store and bought flash powder. Mm-hmm. So all these old guys.
Who bought it? You?
Yeah, we bought flash powder. Well,
How old were you?
Our teacher bought it.
Your teacher bought it for you. So
bought us flash powder, and we hooked it up to all their lights. I knew how to hook it up. So when they turned on their light bulb, poof, the flash bulb would go off, and we scared the crap out of them.
Are you kidding? That would have been. They probably thought something really bad had happened.
Oh yeah. Well, what we did to our director. Okay, see, back then people used to smoke on the set.
Oh, wow.
People used to smoke on the set. So they'd be sitting there, you're working, and they're smoking cigarettes while you're like right over there. So we decided that we wanted to make our director quit smoking. So we went to a magic store and bought the things that blow up cigarettes, and Gary would distract him, and I'd shove him in his cigarettes while he wasn't looking, and he'd be smoking, and pow, and we started cracking up.
It would pop in his mouth.
No, not his mouth. It pops the cigarette, but you don't get hurt from it. Blows the cigarette up. So he tried to be slick, and he bought a new pack and a pack that he wasn't going to smoke. So I had Gary distract.
Did he know that you guys were doing it, or he thought something was wrong with that pack?
No, he figured out we were doing it.
But when he bought the new pack, he thought it was like, oh, I got a bad pack.
No, he thought that something wrong with it. But then when he figured it out, he tried to hide his new cigarettes, and I had Gary distract him. And what made it really funny was I had a heat gun, and I opened the package, right? And I shoved them all in, every single one of the cigarettes, and I sealed it back up.
Oh, you are sneaky.
Oh, yeah. So I sealed it back up, and we put it in his bag, and he quit smoking after that. He got home. He said, I got these kids are finding a way I can smoke my cigarette. And he went, pow! And he went, I quit.
Oh, did it to him at home?
Yes, and he goes, I'm not smoking cigarettes. And he quit that day. He quit cigarettes.
Oh, my God.
So I was directly connected to him quitting cigarette smoking. Me and Gary Coleman.
Do you remember his name, who this is?
Yeah, Garen Keith.
Oh, my goodness. Is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around. I became good friends with all of him.
Does he hate you for that?
No, are you kidding me? No, Garen we became very close.
That's so funny.
Me, Garen, Conrad, we all became very close.
Yeah. You told me some time ago about like there was an arcade on the lot too that you guys.
That was actually Steven Spielberg's arcade, where they allowed us to go in and play video games. He was a really nice guy. They allowed us to go in there and do stuff. But that's when we worked at Universal. But we also, Universal was like a lot to where the kids can go and have fun and do things.
Because there were other shows, right? You could go.
Yeah, Tandem had he had Different Strokes. He had Facts of Life. He had Silver Spoons. He had Who's the Boss? A show with Nell Carter. He had all the shows with this, so all the kids were there. I was the oldest boy, but I think Dana was the oldest girl, I think.
So you guys would go out and do stuff with the other kids as they're
Yeah.
on the lot
Like
doing-
when the whole roller skating time, we all had roller skates. So you have 12 kids roller skating all around the lot, like fast. I mean, fast.
That would actually be a great place to roller skate.
It was great,
probably.
yeah, because there was no cars on where we were, and we would skate. We zoomed by everybody, and we'd had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was always the challenge with roller skates. I remember the Christmas that I got roller skates for Christmas. I'd asked for them from Santa and they were there. And I remember going outside and it was like, I could go like here and there. And here, and it was like, this is not very fun. I finally figured out we had gates on the either side of our yard, so I'd open them up, and I finally worked out where I could do a loop skating around the house, and that made it a lot more fun.
We skated all over the place.
I can imagine on the lot with all that concrete, it would be like dreamy.
It was
for
dreamy for
roller
us to roller
skating.
skates. And then when someone would fall, we'd start laughing. So
That's so mean.
no, that's not. That's what kids do.
So inside, how can you tell when you're not being your best self?
Well, when I'm not being my best self for me inside, I'm not emotionally driven.
Yeah,
I become too, content on just where I'm at. And I think that as an artist, you have to always feel like you're striving for more. You're doing something to push your career, not just sitting at a stagnant.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, a job as an artist is really tough. Like I can relate to that as like I do design, like graphic work, and it can be hard to monetize artistic work because so much of it comes from a place of like creativity, and there are all kinds of stress and pressures that just like zap your creativity.
Well, the
to where you're
business,
just like, I got nothing today.
I think every single business that's the entertainment business is always hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
We need this now, but you gotta wait.
Oh yeah, when you're
You got
on
it, we
the
got it,
show.
but you gotta wait. That's how.
That's where all these beautiful stories come from of roller skating around.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that that's
the
just
studio lot.
how. I mean, even with singing, you do these great songs, but you gotta wait before you can get them sold, or you gotta wait before you can do this. You gotta wait before you can put it out. It's always a wait in the business. It's just a wait. So you don't see usually the success from what you're doing right away. It takes time. So you have to be, I think, content with, you feel good about what you've done.
Yeah.
Like, this is really good. Now I got to wait for someone else to like it as much as I do.
So patience.
It's patience in this business.
Yeah.
And patience is, can be a lot of different ways.
I think that really is almost like related to the feeling rushed, that feeling impatient. They're kind of relatives, I think, and it's interesting that that's another way that we would not feel like our best selves, and when we're impatient with ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we're like not feeling like we're getting.
I think most of the time we are impatient with ourselves.
Yeah.
We, because we feel rushed, and then we're not patient with someone else, and then we're not patient with ourselves, and then we get upset at the other person, but realize we're really more frustrated with ourselves because we feel, at that time less than. That's what happens with me. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, and I just think with life doesn't go at the pace, like the progress you were talking about. Like things don't progress often. We don't see things shaping. Like it's so hard to see the progress because it's so incremental.
Well,
it's like trying to watch your hair grow longer.
Yeah,
like,
but
you're not going to see that progress.
But I think if you listen to all these billionaires, these guys would do things, try things, they'd fail. Try things, they fail. What makes them different is the fact that when they failed, they didn't just shut down, they kept striving, kept pushing forward. So you have to look at it, like everything you invent or try to do may not be a success, but if you keep going, eventually you're gonna hit that pop bottle and it's gonna make you money or make you what you want.
Yeah, you keep smoking that cigarette, and at some point, it's going to blow up in your mouth.
Yes, that's right. At some point, especially when you have little kids around who's going to torture you.
That is so funny. I think it would have been really fun to see, like, if you guys had little snaps that you were sharing on, like,
that's
TikTok
what I'm saying. It really sucks that we did. If we had social media at the time, oh my gosh.
Yes.
It would have been so much fun. But I will tell you this, if they had social media at the time, there'd been a lot of people in trouble, let me tell you.
Yeah. You know what? I actually think this self awareness, like being your best self, is really important because I think other people can sense too when we're not coming from that place of our best. Like the energy, like there's that energetic feeling. I feel like this last, 5 years of my life has been a lot about learning about that energy field. It sounds like weird voodoo type stuff, but it's so true that we are, as creatures, we operate on a lot more than what's just happening right here on like the level of verbal communication. There is a lot that we can feel like. And when you study the subjects, something's really intriguing to me lately. So I've been doing a lot of reading and studying about it. And it talks about how babies and infants, like that is like the core of like mother's intuition and like that infant and parent connection. Because it's not just for mothers, like fathers can have it too. But there's so much that's going on that is feelings related.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily emotions. It's just general feelings that we can give off. Like if we're not feeling good, other people around us can feel that. Even if we're trying to mask it and be all, positive and we're trying to take control and have a good attitude, people can still feel that something's not right.
Well, it's just like when when you're living somewhere in a country that is stressing over what's going on, it does tend to weigh on you also. So you're taking that stress on top of your own stress, and then it's making the whole thing frustrating. It's very difficult. I think that when things are running smoothly all around you in the country you live in and things are going great, you feel better.
When
about
does
what's
that
going
happen?
Well, it happens a lot. When
is there a place where it's all smooth and nice?
Well, when it's peaceful, you're not hearing a bunch of crap all the time, I think.
Yeah.
When there's other problems going on. See, I think a lot of times we relate things that are happening, well, that won't happen to me. That's happening to that person. That's why, it's like the reason why I lock all the doors. People go, well, that won't happen to that person because that person, leaves their door unlocked, so it won't happen to me because I lock my doors. Not necessarily true, but at least inside of myself, I can feel a little safer for myself and my family by locking things and keeping things,
secure.
Because if you think about it, if you just, I try to limit my risk, and I think in life that's what we try to do too, is limit how much we're going to fall, how much we're going to be hurt. And that's why that when you're an artist, you get other jobs because I want to limit, I want to be able to pay my bills, but I don't want to limit going completely broke. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I don't go completely broke. So you do jobs to keep yourself moving and going so that you can take care of yourself and you can enjoy some parts of the life until you get to the goal you want to reach.
Yeah, I think that's interesting you bring that up because I think the job as an actor or entertainer, I think it's a really misunderstood job.
It's a singer too. It's different. Same thing. They're basically
singers have I think singers have almost a little bit of an easier time. They have a little bit more control over their career trajectory. As an actor, you're relying on being in something
but you're relying. But it's until you make it to the plateau you want to get to.
Right.
Then, you look at like the Denzel Washingtons. They're at a level to where they don't need the studio. Right. The studio needs them. Mm-hmm. Like Robert De Niro. They're gonna get jobs no matter what.
Yeah, but there's a whole class of like what you will call them. I never heard this phrase before I met you and your mom, but it was she would say they're working actors. They're working actors, and I was like, what? I didn't know what she meant by that.
Working actors, you don't necessarily know their face, but they work all the time. You don't know their name, but they're always in something.
And they're the ones that when we had like the strike, the SAG strike, that's who was really feeling it.
That's the ones who get hurt because they're not making the big paydays either.
Right.
Which means that they're not going to get, they're not going to do a job and all of a sudden, they're not going to get $20 million for a job. So if you go on strike, they're like, still got $18 million in my bank. I'm good until we go back to work. That's not going to happen. They're making, enough to get past.
Yeah, and I don't think people realize how small a percentage of actors are actually in that
elite group. It's a very small percentage. It's a very small.
That can afford to go without jobs for a very long time.
It's a very small. You have to have a niche as an actor, Like for me, I get by doing speaking engagement, doing things, and that makes me make it. Yeah. And also my residuals are quite still good, so.
Yeah, and then you have to qualify, to get your insurance. That's why a lot of them were. Yeah.
It makes you where, you have to be able to morph into other things to keep your, money going. That's how it is.
Yeah, to evolve and move yourself.
Exactly.
Well, we would love to hear from you. What are the things that make you feel like your best self? Write into us on dangpodcast.com and let us know.
Yes, let us know.
It's ToddFlix time, I think.
Yes, and my pick this week is Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson. It's during a human explorations and colonizing space. But what makes Mickey different is they found a way to keep cloning Mickey with his memories. So
he's what's called an expendable.
Yeah, expendable. So
yeah.
he does these crazy things, and and they want to see like what the air is like. They'll send him out there with no helmet. He dies, and then they bring him back. He doesn't have the memory of dying, but he has all of his memories knowing what he had done.
They like duplicate.
Yeah.
It's kind of actually perfect for today's episode because we're talking about the best versions of ourselves.
Yes, they keep making the
And it's Mickey 17, right? Because he's on like the 17th iteration of himself.
17th of himself, yeah. And what makes it so good is Robert Pattinson is such a good actor.
Yeah.
He's amazing in this. And everybody in it's good, but he's an amazing actor. He's really, I think and I'm not putting down any of the other people from Twilight, but Robert Pattinson is just a great actor. And he came out of there and he's amazing in everything he's in.
Well, I loved him in Twilight, of course. Yeah. But so it's really this idea of like no testing on animals, but they're literally testing on people. Yeah, that's
exactly right. And they keep, bringing them back, and then people around start realizing how messed up that is to keep bringing him back after what they keep doing. And then finally, there's two versions of himself.
Yeah.
And
there's two alive at the same time.
Yeah, and they're one's supposed to happen. There's two of them alive at the same time. But I won't tell you about the rest of the film because you'll have to see it and you'll enjoy it. And I think you'll really enjoy Mickey 17.
Yeah, no, that one. So this is one I had been unsure about. I try not to watch the rated R movies. I don't like the really gory, really intense. Like I try to avoid that. And
but
so we
we
went and saw Snow White instead of this in the theater. But you had watched this recently, and I caught the end of it, and it actually did look pretty good.
It was really good, and it's only rated R because I think of some of the language that was in it somewhere.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It is a really interesting exploration of what the future could be like.
Yeah,
because they're basically going and inhabiting like a new planet.
Oh yeah, and they were going inhabiting a new planet, and they were, like man always wants to destroy everything they see instead of getting to know it first.
Okay, I don't remember the name of the actor that plays the basically the guy in charge, but you can tell he was taking mannerisms from Trump. Did you catch that as you were watching it?
Yeah,
some of like the way he holds himself.
It's the guy who plays the Hulk. It's the guy who plays the Hulk.
Oh,
it's the guy who plays the Hulk, and I can't think of his name.
He's a really good actor, but I'm like this guy.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo was and the actress. Who's the other actress? I forgot the other actress. She was good too.
Oh yeah,
everyone
she was amazing.
Good. The wife was great of him. But everyone in the film is really, really good. Mark Ruffalo, Robert Pattinson, it's a really and then his girlfriend. It's just such a good movie. I think people would really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is a good one. Well, dang.
Yep, dang. Thank you for coming. We'll see you again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and send in if you have any questions for us. You want me to answer, you want her to answer, send them to us, and we will definitely get to that.
Yeah, go to dangpodcast.com and send us a message.
Or you can go to realtopbridges.com and buy T-shirts like this, which come with Willis, or dang mugs, whatever you need to do. Dang is produced by my wife, Bettijo Bridges, in collaboration with Star Worldwide Network Studios, and edited by our daughter, Adelie Ann.
She's also the musician responsible for our theme music, so go check out Adelie Ann wherever you stream your music. Have a question or topic you want us to cover? Send us your suggestions at dangpodcast.com.
Do me a favor. Please subscribe and rate our podcast to make it easier for others to find. Have a great week.
Yeah,